Y'all, part 2 of this reunion gave me just enough to not fall asleep. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into it. All right, church, we start our journey with the Wolverine origin story of the Drew and LaToya saga. Listen, I am not going to labor on in the pursuit of this point. I will simply say that by watching this show tonight, I literally have had my Oprah and Iyanla aha moment where I realized that Drew was a means to an end for LaToya. And so I say that to say this. When LaToya came on the show, she was looking for her moment. She was looking for her end. She was looking for her way to make her mark on the show, to create drama with somebody so that she could perpetuate nonsense, to, increase her billing on the show, increase her notoriety, okay? And so it just so happened that Drew pulled the short straw, and that's where she got it. Listen, Drew was the weakest link, goodbye, and that's simply what it was. From Drew and LaToya talking about, each other going back and forth, even through the shade and through the nice stories that Drew had brought up in terms of her and LaToya hanging out and actually having honest moments. I really feel that their issues really aren't that deep, aside from this whole profit lot mess, which I guess we'll get into next week. But listen, I have hope for their friendship. I hope that it can turn into something nice. And now that LaToya has made her mark, maybe she can go on to a better target or whatever. Moving forward, Kenya and LaToya relationship or lack thereof. Listen, y'all, Kenya ain't about that life. That's what I got from this whole situation. Kenya is not about that life. Kenya said, "You have not seen my cuckoo. I have not seen your cuckoo. Ain't nobody box got flipped, licked, tricked, and rubbed down, honey." And so, like, listen, it was puppy love at best. I think in this entire situation that for the first time in Kenya's life on this show, she has met somebody who she didn't automatically hate. And because she didn't automatically hate them, right, she misconstrued those feelings of friendship and girlfriendness as love, and tried to take it to another level and tried to make it something that it wasn't. I do not feel that it was like this, lesbian-ish type situation. Although, listen, if you look back at my prior videos, I was the first one to say it looked like they got something going on, but it seems like nothing was going on. So, listen, if you let LaToya tell it, okay, they got something going on. If you let Kenya tell it, she ain't never even seen nothing. All I showed her was some cellulite on my ass. Moving forward. Kenya admits that she was a bad hostess. Listen, when somebody puts that level of proof in the pudding in front of your face through all these videos, from the crab cake to you not planning the stuff with the girls right and stuff, listen, the best way through a storm sometimes is just to go straight directly through. And that's what Kenya did. She faced it head on, and she was just like, listen, I can understand why the girls were mad. I may have not been the best hostess. May have is a very, light sentence to what it was, but listen, okay, like I said in the prior video, you got to take what you can get with Kenya, and that was as close to an apology as we gonna get for her bad hostessing. Now, touching on the other part of it, I really feel that Kenya missed the point of the mothering conversation. For someone who just leaned into that whole bad hostessing thing and accepted it head on, it seemed like she took a step back with the whole mothering issue, right? And so just to recap, the girl's issue with her, is that she sort of puts her whole mothering situation ahead of everyone else's, right? She puts it on a higher pedestal, a higher platform, right? And just seems like she's coming off as someone who is just like not putting the needs of others, you know, before hers, or not being just cognizant that other people are going through, you know, situations of their own, and hers is not the most important. I thought it was very ridiculous how she tried to come for Kandi, just in terms of, you know, Kandi, you done brought a whole dick in the box here, girl. If you wanted to, you know, get your child there, you are more uniquely qualified than us all to make it happen. And yes, listen, Kandi has said on the show before, okay, that if she wanted to take care of every MFer in here, that she could, honey. But, you know, that's besides the point, right? I think there's a difference between, you know, bringing your child just because you want to bring your child, and bringing your child because it was discussed that was something that, you know, was being done on the trip. So I think it all comes back down to the fact that, Kenya, you could have had better communication in this situation, in terms of telling the girls, you know, if you want to bring your children, bring yours. I have my own situation going on where I need to have Brooklyn here because I don't feel safe leaving her in Atlanta without me. And it just all boils down to communication. Do not come for the mothering stuff. And I don't know. It was like, Kenny, you took, you know, 2 steps forward and you took 5 steps back, but it's fine. You know, we'll move on to the next point. Silver bullet comes for Kandi's mothering. Y'all gonna stop acting like these viewer questions aren't like screened by Andy and the production team to make sure that they are extra shady for what the people want to know, okay? When the damn audience person is like, listen, Kandi, you shouldn't be that mad that, you know, your baby wasn't there on the trip or whatever. You know, Riley said you ain't no good mother, no way. And so it would just be, you know, the next iteration of your bad mothering and stuff. Child, when she said, watch your tone, okay, I felt that in my spirit through the screen, okay? Good for Kandi, but listen, she couldn't go too far because she knew at the end of the day, child, listen, Andy might Tootsie Roll with y'all housewives, okay, and kiki laugh and ha ha he he hell, but he is actually an executive over at Bravo, so you can only come for your boss, you know, for so much before you gotta, you know, backpedal out that situation. So I thought it was funny. Good for Kandi for standing up for herself, but also good for Andy for, you know, showing that, you know, these are not my questions, though I have my doubts, and you know, we're gonna move past them. Don't judge the question as part of, you know, like it's coming from me. It's more so that, you know, this is what the people are saying, and this is what we are saying, and moving forward. There's really no way out of that situation if you think about it. All right, so Kenya and Drew, listen, y'all, I could go on forever in terms of, you know, what Kenya said, what Drew said, and the tit for tat, and the back and forth, and the yada, yada, yada. I have basically condensed this situation down into 2 main points, okay? Where Kenya won and where Drew won, okay? So the first situation is where Kenya came for Drew's body issues. Now, Kenya was trying to unsuccessfully make a point that she had been a friend to Drew at a certain time, you know, had been looking out for Drew, right? And so by saying that, she was saying, you know, when the bachelorette party happened or whatever, I had called you because I knew that you were having body issues to tell you about it so you could like prepare and yada, yada, right? The problem is that Kenya is so shady that she can't get a nice point out without it being brought down with the shade of the situation, okay? Did nobody know about Drew's issues in terms of her body issues? And furthermore, body issues is so, it's such an ambiguous term, right? That we don't know what the hell you were talking about. So listen, They say you never let a bitch spray you with your own tea. And Drew said the way through this damn storm is to go directly through it. So Drew said, listen, you can ha ha he he hell and all you want to, but I have a medical condition down to Jackie, Dr. Jackie office, down to Married to Medicine, and she has helped me with a hysterectomy to get this out my system, okay? So before you try to come for me and be shady and whatnot, you need to be more cognizant of what people who have children can sometimes go through. So good for Drew. Listen, when you back up things with facts, I am there for you. I am your cheerleader. I root for you. So good. That was when Drew won that situation. Now, in terms of the broke bitches split checks, then Kenya comes for her lack of acting gigs, and then Drew says, don't worry about it, baby, because I'm sitting on my $400 million from the Step Up soundtrack and the movie. They say you never bring a bitch down without tearing a... They say you never bring somebody down, okay, without trying to build them back up. Drew, I just built you up just now where I told you that you want for your body comment. Then you just had to go down the road of where I could not follow you, okay? Listen, in Hollywood, there is a situation where if you are an actor in something, if you had like a very, very large contribution, or if you just have a really, really good entertainment attorney, manager, etc., that you can get a portion of the proceeds of the movie on the back end, right? So in your contract, they will pay you for what you did on the movie, just in terms of, you acting, you singing, yada, yada. But also on the back end, if the film does well, then you get a percentage of the licensing, the profits, the merchandising, etc. Okay? And so what Drew is basically trying to say is that she has part of the back end of the Step Up movie. Now, I do not know this to be a fact, okay? But I highly doubt, you got to get it from the back of your throat, highly doubt the validity that the producers, executive producer, directors, writers of the Step Up franchise have given Drew Sidora, who wrote a song and was in the movie. I don't know if she was in all the franchises. I'm not sure. But I just think you would have probably been better off saying that you're still getting royalties from the game. At least that's something that people can't readily verify. Child, I went down to the Google and tried to Google Drew Sidora back end in terms of, licensing deals or whatever. Or was she a producer, executive producer, writer? Like, what did you do on the damn production? But listen, the moral of the story is, do not lay out facts that people can readily identify as false, misleading, or just damn right, ambiguous at best, and a downright lie at worst. So we just gonna move on from that, and we gonna leave Drew with her alleged $400 million Step Up money. Quiet as it's kept. I thought Step Up and Honey was the same movie. Child, I went down to the YouTube and I was like, Jessica Alba, Step Up, and Honey kept coming up. That's beside. I'm gonna move on. Let me move on. Cynthia wedding reads. Listen, I'm not gonna belabor this point either, because I think we all know it all comes down to the fact, Cynthia, you shouldn't have had the damn wedding during the height of the pandemic, okay? Point blank and the period. I'm glad she took the proper precautions. I'm glad nobody got hurt to her knowledge, which is, quiet as it's kept. That's that's a legal term. To my knowledge, absolves you of any sort of situation that you don't know of at the time, right? So listen, we're going to keep this highbrow. We're going to say nobody came down with COVID. Nobody got sick of anything, because I haven't heard any reports of it. I haven't seen it. So looks like all's well that ends well and whatnot. My whole point of the whole Cynthia wedding story is when Andy asked her whether or not she had finally got the damn posting up, and she going to look at Kandi and say, it's in progress. Child, if you don't Tootsie roll your ass down to the Gwinnett County Courthouse, Atlanta Buckhead Courthouse, or hell, go on to, what's that damn thing they got on the damn internet where it's like legal Zoom or whatever. You better get some damn agreement in place. You see, people always playing when it comes to that damn paper, and then they want to, cry big old crocodile tears when the marriage, goes down the tubes, and then, you sitting there looking stupid because you ain't get your damn paperwork done on the front end, okay? Not the back end like Drew, baby, the front end. Cynthia, you got to do better. I don't even have much to say about that. But in my spirit and in my soul, I do believe that you and Mike are going to be, together forever. I hope. It seems like y'all are a very good match, but that does not mean that you shouldn't have the foresight to plan for Mad Day, just in case his ass tries to, flip on you and turn into somebody that you don't know. So listen, girl, do better. The dungeon party and its sex positive moment. The dungeon party was very sex positive. I feel that this was an episode that I had never seen on any sort of Bravo franchise or on TV outside of like Love and Hip Hop, but the Love and Hip Hop versions of it would have been ratchet. You know, this was very it was very high class because it could have been really, really, you know, much nastier than it was or whatever. And listen, quite as it's kept, the nastier part was actually After Dark. Catch. But it was really a moment for sex positivity, and I think that the Housewives of Atlanta are sort of in the forefront of showing that you can be a lady, you can be a businesswoman, you can be a mother and a wife, and you can also have a sexual side that you know, lean into from time to time. So, you know, wonderful for the girls being pioneers in that, and, you know, wonderful for Kandi for increasing her bedroom candy coins. Okay, everything in your life should inspire you to make money. That is one of the quotes that I hold near and dear to my heart from Kandi Burruss. Portia and Kandi have truly come far. Listen, I damn near teared up when I looked at that damn montage, because that scene where Kandi finds out that Phaedra was actually the mastermind behind that whole situation with the dungeon and stuff. The emotions in that scene, they still get to me, okay? Because Kandi was like on 15. Hell, it was so dramatic that even Sheree ass started crying, and Sheree wasn't even in it, okay? Well, other than being the bone collector. But just to see just where they started and where they ended up in terms of where they are today, I was like, listen, that is a lesson in forgiveness. And, you know, because it didn't have to be as good as it is. If you realize that just because you're on a show with somebody does not mean that you have to be best friends with that person on the show, you know? And so they could have just been civil, but it seems like, you know, the tides have turned and they just, you know, they're really getting to the point of friendship. So I think it's very pivotal what was it Kenya said, where she said, listen, Kandi has gotten to the point where she has worked through most of her trauma surrounding it. And she's gotten to a point where she can move past most of it, though she should never forget. And I think that's where we should leave it, because just because someone hurts you doesn't mean you can't move past it, but it also doesn't mean that you should ever forget that place that they put you in. Marlo on the outs with Portia and coming for Kandi-Portia friendship. Y'all, my issue with Marlo is that Marlo doesn't truly know what her issue is, right? Is your issue that Portia doesn't like you being friends with Kenya? Is your issue that, you know, you think Portia and Kandi are in some sort of alliance over Bolo? Or is your issue that, you know, Portia doesn't really mess with you anymore and you're trying to figure out why? Like, I'm gonna need you to center on an issue and move forward with that, because trying to pursue all three is just making you look disorganized and crazy. Furthermore, if you think about it, the issue with Marlo and Portia is really reminiscent of Marlo's issue with Kenya, where she wanted her energy, right? At the origin of it was actual friendship and love and the missing of it, but Marlo doesn't really know how to express herself well, and instead of leading with the honesty in terms of, this is how I feel, this is how, you know, this is my perception of the situation, this is how I think that we can move past it, instead she goes the attack route and then tries to backpedal later into, you know, oh, you know, I was just playing, oh, we're friends, oh, I was just heated. No, like, say what you mean and mean what you say, stick to your point. And that's my issue with Marlo. I just feel like things would have gone better in that situation if she was more organized and also more open and honest about what it is that she truly wanted. Otherwise, it really just looked like she was trying to just throw daggers and try to figure out which one was going to hit. And it just seemed like a disjointed mess. Anywho, y'all, that's really all I have to say on it. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Stereo at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, if you have a point, make it and stick to it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.